This lesson is on the Byzantine Empire, and this is part one of a two-part series on Eastern Europe in the post-classical period. Now, when we're talking about the Byzantine Empire, in part what we're talking about is the Eastern Roman Empire, because beginning in the 330s CE, Constantinople became the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire, and the Romans would have known the Eastern Empire as a distinct political space and a distinct empire and referred to it as such. Right, so usually we talk about 476 as being the fall of Rome and the fall of the Roman Empire, but that's kind of a Western biased idea, Western European biased idea, because from the Byzantine Empire, which begins in 500 and lasts till 1450 CE, goes on, right? Almost for 1,000 years, the Byzantine Empire rules the Eastern Roman Empire, which really brings up the question, when did the Roman Empire fall? And I've listened to historians argue that the Roman Empire lasted all the way until 1450, and so, the fall of Rome was just, the fall of half the Roman Empire. And the Byzantines thought of themselves as the Roman Empire, used the term, considered themselves as such. So, again, a lot of this has to do with point of view. Right, and let's go back to Emperor Constantine. Now, we looked at him in our studies of Rome and Christianity in period 2 of world history, right, because he reigned from 306 to 337 CE, which is very much a part of period 2 of world history. Right, he's responsible for Christianizing the empire. He also founded the city of Constantinople, right, and the city is named after him. And he moved the capital to his city, which created a power base, a shifting power base within the empire, right? Anytime the official Roman Empire emperor moves, he's going to bring with him all of his bureaucrats, a lot of the upper level officials, even some of the senators came to Constantinople with him. And so this really creates two capitals to the empire and really marks the transition to two empires within, what we may call Roman history. Right, so let's take a look at the strategic importance of the Eastern Empire. Right, Byzantium is just the Latin name for the Byzantine Empire. Right, and it's in a strategically very important position. Right, the Persians are right here, the Arabs are down here, Egypt. Right, and it really marks the crossroads between Europe, the Holy Land, North Africa, Persia, and off towards China and the Silk Roads, right? So this has often been called the great crossroads of the world, and I think that's an accurate term, and Constantinople's right at the center of it, right? This guards the gates between Europe and the Middle East and is still a strategically very important position. It's why the United States maintains a very close relationship with Turkey. Right, and the Byzantine Empire had more of a Greek or Hellenistic influence on it. The Greek language was the official language of the empire, not Latin, although upper class members of the Byzantine Empire would have spoken Latin and Greek. Greek would have been the everyday language, and they inherited a lot of the achievements from the Hellenistic period. Right, you remember the whole period surrounding Alexander the Great. Going back to the Greek city-states, so all of the STEM advancements, the philosophy and art of Hellenism was firmly at the heart of Byzantine culture and politics and interactions with the environment, right? And as I've said before, because the Byzantine Empire is the western end of the Silk Road, there's a lot of trade and wealth there, and there's also access to the Eastern Mediterranean, North Africa, as I mentioned a moment ago, right? So the Byzantines were much more connected to the world network than Rome and Western Europe. And as a result, were much more sophisticated and much more multicultural than the Western Europeans at this time period. So the first of the true great Eastern Roman or Byzantine emperors was Emperor Justinian, who ruled from 527 to 565. And he picked up on the older Roman legal systems, but made them more solid and adapt them to Byzantine purposes. He was also a voracious builder. I mean, he just palaces and temples and churches, and really wanted to show the greatness of his rule through building. And this kind of brings back, once again, that idea of monumental architecture. Now, I haven't talked about that for a long time, but remember, anytime a ruler builds, great palaces and monuments and churches, it shows how powerful he is, but it also creates a sense of pride within the people. He also was very much into military expansionism, right? He wanted to push the Byzantine Empire west into the old Roman heartlands, and really saw himself as a kind of resurgent or rebuilding Roman emperor, right? I mean, he wanted all those lands all the way to the edge of North Africa and Spain and up into Germany. He really has eyes set on that to, again, reconquer and reglorify, that older empire.